Are you enjoying yourselves, viewers? I'm not especially. In Let's Play Ultima 4. Because this is a long, annoying dungeon with no real save points and no real healing points. But we're nearly at the end of the game now, so let us press onward. One thing I did off-screen, you can see in my text log there, is I did rest up and heal everyone. We are actually able to do that again. Remember, you can only camp successfully no more than every 100 moves or something. There's a counter that... whatever, it's a bit hard to explain, but... Fortunately, I know from off-screen tools that I am ready to rest. Hopefully you are too by the time you get here. But if not, don't worry about it too much. This level isn't too horrible. Let me see. Where do I actually spawn here? Okay. There is a door to the south here. Do not go that way. That will just take you to a sequence of 4 rooms with a bunch of difficult enemies that goes absolutely nowhere, and you just have to go all the way back. Instead, you want to take this secret door to the east. So, let me see. Just keep following this corridor. There is another sequence of secret doors here. And that takes you to this junction here. Okay. When you get here, there are fire fields. Both of them go directly into another set of rooms, just 2 rooms this time. Either direction takes you the same way. I think I want to go through this one to the east here instead of going around to the north. Yes, I want to go straight east here. I don't want to take the corridor to the north. That would take me around to the other room eventually. Somehow. It's a bit hard to follow how the map works, but... Oh, I meant to say, one thing you could do here is mix the undead spell, because this room contains a whole bunch of ghosts and liches. I don't know how much it really helps, though. But I forgot to do it, so I guess we're not going to find out today. One thing to remember here is that when incorporeal creatures like ghosts are in the wall, you cannot actually hit them. You need to make sure that you give the ghosts opportunity to come out of the walls and make themselves vulnerable if you actually want to defeat them. Of course, they make the walls of this room black, so you can't quite tell where the walls are. That's all there really is to this room. Just try to maneuver through it as best you can, and don't let the ghosts get stuck in the walls. Okay, this room. Just to point out everything you are going to be interested in. There are 4 gazers in the middle of the room. They will put people to sleep and put them right in the way. There are a bunch of gremlins. They're nothing much to worry about. All they'll do is steal your food and get in the way. The far right you can't go through because there's water there. There is a demon on the far left. Nothing too much to worry about. But most importantly, it's just these narrow, twisty corridors that will be a pain to navigate through. And as soon as anyone goes to sleep or otherwise gets stuck on a monster they can't hit, everyone will get completely hung up. There is that fire thing in the middle of the room, but it doesn't actually do anything and you can't get to it, so don't worry about that. YOLO actually had a shot on the geyser there I missed taking. Whatever. It's basically just a matter of pushing your way through and trying as best you can not to get into an arrangement where everyone's blocked by something and can't do anything. It's probably not the worst idea just to hold position here and let them gradually come to you, one at a time. Yeah, I'm not going to try to advance right now. Maybe now I can. It's just gremlins. Next round, so people don't get out of sync. Hopefully my melee fighters are in adequate shape to deal with a few gremlins. I don't know what those geysers are doing back there, but they're not currently being too threatening. This is kind of where the situation can become dangerous. You have those melee fighters there in a place where there's no one really behind them backing them up. And if they get put to sleep, which they probably will as soon as a geyser comes through, they'll just be stuck there taking damage, and there's basically nothing you can do about it. Fortunately, I can get Jeffrey up to engage that geyser, and he'll at least have Jana behind him. But we dealt with the geyser anyway, so I have seen this room be much more of a pain than it was on this round. It's also just very annoying trying to get everyone through these narrow corridors, keep track of who's moving which direction. That is honestly the main thing that makes having a large party so frustrating in this game. Just the fact that everyone's moving in different directions and keeping track of who's going where just takes a lot of focus. And there's really nothing you can do to focus on a single character and maneuver them around when you might want to. Of course, one parting shot from the geyser, why not? Okay, we're fine. Alright, we made it. And that just brings us to the altar, as normal. Use the stone. The virtue that stems from truth and love is justice. And the stone for justice is green. Green with an R. Which, if you know your color wheel, green is what you get if you combine blue for truth and yellow for love. Okay, what do we do on level 5? So I'm just going to go around here for now. Let me heal Jeffrey real quick. No, I'll wait until he's in combat and gets a little lower, just to get the maximum benefit out of it. There are fountains at each of the corners like this of this area. These are poison fountains. If you drink from them, you will get poisoned. So that's what I'm going to do. You may think I'm crazy, but... By the way, drinking the poison fountain does make you take about 100 points of damage as well as getting poisoned, so don't do it if you don't have the HP for it. But the reason for that is that you can only have one status ailment affecting you at a time in this game. And the poison ailment overrides the sleep ailment. I assume they did that so that you can't do something like walk into a sleep field to cure poison cheaply or something. But a side effect of that is that if you are already poisoned, you cannot be put to sleep. And at this point in the game, being put to sleep is much more of a danger than being poisoned. So I am going to take advantage of that, even though it's kind of an exploit. Whatever. There are so many annoying things that will put you to sleep in the rest of this dungeon that it would be absurd to try to do it normally. So, on the way in here, I also want to mix one tremor spell, or tremamore, as the game would have it. That is A, E, and H. I would also like to mix one dispel spell, which is ACF. Checking my notes once more just to verify. I need one dispel and one tremamore. Got it. Okay, so let me see. I believe I want to go through the room to the east. There are two rooms, they both lead to the same place, they have slightly different monsters. This one just has demons and headlesses, the other one would have some dragons. I'd rather not deal with dragons because they have a lot of hit points. Either way, you've got Balrons and Zorns you have to deal with. Also, you will notice that the Balrons up there are behind barriers. That is why I have to mix Dispel to come through here. Because as you can see, there are no actual exits right now. The exit is hidden behind a switch that I will need to go behind those barriers to find. Zorns you can see there do burrow through walls. Just like the ghosts we saw earlier, you cannot actually damage them while they are inside a wall. Another thing you will notice is that there is an N where my virtue display normally would be. That is because I believe the Zorns have that negation effect I've probably mentioned at some point. Meaning that as long as that's in effect, I cannot use any magic effects. We are going to have to wait around until we can either kill that other Zorn or it goes away. I think it's fleeing, so it'll probably leave the map in a moment here. There it goes. There's the sleep. That is one reason why I have Shelby poisoned there. Do not make the mistake of trying to use that one Dispel that you just mixed while the Zorn's negation is in effect. It won't work, and you will just waste the spell and have to go back, remix it, and start over, assuming you even have the reagents. I'm not sure what exactly the Zorns do to trigger that effect, if it's just proximity or what. Alright, so where is the switch? Okay, it already opened, actually. That tile right there where I just moved Shelby is where the switch is. One way or another, you need to get someone to go stand on that. And Shelby is trapped until YOLO wakes up. Okay, there's YOLO. We can finally move. Okay. So, as soon as you get in this room, you are going to cast your Tremamore! Because this room is full of Reapers and Gazers that will be putting you to sleep non-stop. Just get rid of as many of them as you can up front. It will make your life somewhat easier. Okay, Jeffrey, get out of the way, please. Okay, so now that I finally have the ability to move somewhere, I'm going to try to have Shelby come in and take care of as many of those Reapers as she can now. Note that you do not want to exit to the west where you see the exit there. That will just take you back where you came from. Jeffrey is almost dead, I'm not sure if I care. There is a secret exit to this room we are going to have to find, slowly. And if I can, I'll try to have some of my other party members come down into this corner and find it. Oh, there goes Jeffrey. First death. I'm fine with this. Even Shelby is taking way more damage there than I would like. I'm fine with Dupre being poisoned, though. That is one more person who is not going to be put to sleep by anything. Okay, so now that the Reapers are all out of the way, alright, there are actually two switches. The other switch to the bottom corner there would open an exit to the bottom. But if you go that way, that room just has a bunch of dragons and stuff in it that you do not want to deal with. There are just way too many hit points to deal with in that combat. And the other one is actually significantly less of a problem. So I'm going to gradually herd everyone to the east here if I can. So, this next room to the east that we want to go to doesn't look like it has anything too dangerous in it. Of course, that's not actually the case. But the only thing you need to be concerned about is that there is a trigger in the exact center of the room that would spawn a bunch of poison fields all over the room. Which still isn't the worst thing, but you probably don't want to deal with it any more than you have to. So I'm just going to walk carefully around the edge here, through the bushes, which of course slows me down, but that's fine. Okay, and with that we are out. I think I'm going to elect not to cure Dupré of poison, just so I have one more person who is not going to be affected by sleep for the meantime. I would like to have Shelby heal herself some, because her HP is way lower than I would like it to be. Most likely you are not going to be in a position to camp anytime before the end of the dungeon here, but if you were to camp, note that I think people who are poisoned die overnight, so you don't want that to happen. Now, you can go either south or east here, I think. Which directions is it? South and east? Let's go this way. They both lead to effectively the same place. There are two different altars. My torch just died. That's fine for now. Just use the stone as usual. We can do that in the dark. The virtue that stems from love and courage is sacrifice, and the stone of sacrifice is orange. Okay, now let's get our torch going. So, what are we doing on this floor? This one. So I'm going where? East? Basically, I'll even show you on a map here. There's a pretty good collection of rooms there in the center. You have to find your way through those rooms to the altar in the lower right there. What you can't really see on the gem is that those rooms are actually kind of a maze of twisty passages all alike, and you need to find the right way to go in, otherwise you just kind of fumble along the outside edges of it and don't get anywhere. If you go in at the right place, it is basically just one long tunnel that winds around basically all of those rooms. Now, checking my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. You will absolutely need 3 Dispel to get through here. I am probably going to mix another Tremamore as well. So, let me take care of that. Probably some more heals as well, once I get those taken care of. Dispel uses ACF. We need 3 of those. Okay, we now have 3 Dispels, a Tremor, and 5 heals in case we need them. Hopefully that is more or less the last I need for the dungeon. So, to get through here successfully, this last corner here to the northwest, that is a secret door. You want to go through the secret door going east, and then you want to continue east into the first room. And you end up here, where there is nothing. Don't get too used to it. There will be plenty to kill you very shortly. Okay, again, this room has nothing of note in it. Okay, here we have some sea serpents that are going to shoot at us. I'm not sure if it's worth the trouble of trying to shoot back at them or not. We'll find out. Yes, my rear three party members have nothing else to do right now. Okay, that worked well enough. And of course, because it has these diagonal passages, it is highly inconvenient to maneuver your party through them. Okay, here we find some bats and some balrons, one of which is more of a problem than the other. And the sleeping begins. That's fine. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Let's just finish up these last bats and move on. All those sleeping people we're leaving behind, they will be perfectly fine. Absolutely nothing to worry about. Dungeons are safe places for a nap. Okay, this room contains a bunch of these twisters. They have a lot of health, so trying to wear them down is going to take a while, but I'm not sure if you can usefully avoid it. I think they also do quite a bit of damage if you don't get rid of them on your way through. So I'm just going to do the best I can here. The situation seems to be pretty much under control, though. I think we've basically got it. Yep. Now we just move on. Do not worry, viewers, it will get harder. This is the other half of that room we went through earlier. Okay, this is where it starts to become interesting. We not only have the demons in the center of the room coming straight for us, we also have balrons behind magic fields, so we can't get to them immediately. And the actual exit is not the one to the north that you might think. It's not even the one across the water. It is to the south, actually, so we need to find a secret trigger to open that. I'm just going to keep everyone else pretty much in the back so they're out of the way when they inevitably fall asleep. But the trigger we want is in that square under the balron in the top right, so that's where I'm having Shelby go. So I'll just have Shelby take care of the balron real quick. She is taking a lot of damage up there, though. Ow. Okay. And just shuffle everyone through that door in between sleep spells as best you can. Do note that the balron in the lower right there, it does have... In fact, both that one and the one on the top right do have the ability to shoot through the corner of their cells there. Because they can shoot diagonal and we can't, which is totally fair. Of course, you fall asleep one step away from the exit. That's fine. So, this is another room using that same basic gimmick. Once again, the triggers we need to exit are underneath the balrons. In this case, we do need to open both barriers, that's why we have 2 additional dispels ready. Again, I'm just going to have Shelby walk around and take care of that while everyone else pretty much passes. I guess I could have everyone else line up outside of where the barrier is going to open. Okay, that one's open. Start shooting at the hydras. You have Jana cast that heal as long as she's awake. Because I know this approach is going to have Shelby tanking a lot of damage. Okay, 1 balron down. That should make the sleep a lot less of a problem. Okay, Shelby, go on in. It's right underneath the far edge where the balron was. And that didn't seem to do much, but what it accomplished was opening up that tile at the bottom there, which is where the next switch is. and I cannot even imagine how much of a struggle it was to figure these things out, playing this without the benefit of a map. Fortunately, the Balron is right up in front. Okay, the Balron went pretty quick. Let's just clean up these Hydras. Okay. And that just makes a bridge directly through there. From here, you want to exit to the south. Do not exit to the east. That will be more pain than you want to deal with. Directly to the east, there's a room that is full of Reapers and Poison Fields. I'm pretty sure it will be horrific to try to get through there, so I'm not going to. Okay. If you go 4 steps to the south of where Shelby is standing there, basically the middle of the corridor that goes through, there is a switch there that would make a bridge over there on the left, and all the Headless would swarm across it and beat you up. Headless are certainly not the most dangerous things in the world, but why deal with them if you don't have to? So I'm just going to go straight east without triggering that. Okay, this room. More Balrons behind barriers. In this case, you don't need switches, but there are switches that will release the Balrons at the corners around the fire thing there. I'm going to use my Tremormore that I mixed here. Just try to clear out things. Maybe I'll get lucky and kill a couple of the Balrons. Nope. If nothing else, it reduces the number of mages that are going to be shooting at me. What I want to do is try to clear out these mages as quickly as I can before they get a lot of missile attacks on me. But if I now have Shelby step either north or south from where she currently is, that will release the Balron in the corresponding corner. So I'd rather not do that if I can avoid it. I do have to go through there at least once to get through here. So I'm going to do that and see if I can get rid of this Balron before it does too much damage. Okay. Now there should be basically no obstacles to getting through here other than having to slog through all the sleep effects. I assume what the game really intends you to do to get through rooms like this where everything is using sleep is use the negate spell, which in principle would prevent monsters from using magical effects like the Balron's sleep ability. There are just so many rooms where this is an issue, though, and negate does not really last all that long, I don't think. I'd rather just use the poison exploit such as it is. But if you wanted to try to get through here without using the poison exploit, that is how you would do it, I suppose. I suppose, in principle, you could also free the other Balrons and defeat them so they can't keep doing that. But that would take a lot of HP, I think, and right now HP is a more precious resource than time is. Okay, just one more. Yay, we made it! Okay, I would like to give Dupre some healing, and then use the others on Shelby. I'm not sure if you need your lead character alive to get through here or not, but I'm not going to risk it if I can avoid it. So, what happens here? Okay, it drops us right here. The altar is over to the east. So, just use the stone. The virtue that stems from courage and truth is honor, for which the stone is purple. And we are done with level 6 forever. So, level 7. There's a series of rooms. You go through them one at a time. None of them are anything too special, so I'm just going to go. You're going to want to go to the north and east. The rooms are kind of arranged diagonally that way. It doesn't really matter which way you go in. So, in this room, it's just a bunch of headless. They're nothing to worry about. Do not step on the treasure chest. There's a trigger there that spawns something all around it. I don't know what. Probably poison fields or fire fields or something. There's just no reason to go for that treasure, so don't even bother. And it does not matter which way you leave the room either. Either way goes to the same place. Okay. This next room... we've got hydras that can shoot you, but you can't shoot them. Absolutely. The corners around that pillar in the center have switches that would release the corresponding hydra. You could either use that to kill the hydras if you really wanted to, which honestly might not be a terrible idea since we can kill them one at a time. Let's try that. Otherwise, this one's going to be taking pot shots at everyone as we try to push through there. Alright, with that one dead, we can go on up to the north exit unmolested. There's no reason to release the other ones, though, because you don't need to go past their window of attack. Okay, this next room... there is one Gazer in here. Shouldn't be too much of a problem with Shelby poisoned. I do need to have Katrina step one step south. There is a secret door there and a trigger in it that will open up the area where the Gazers and everything are. But I might want to wait a minute until the ghosts come out, so I can get rid of them first. I think the Will-O-Wisps can teleport out as well, so I'll see if I can get them too. Yeah, there's the Will-O-Wisp. It does in fact teleport through walls, that's fine. Happily, unlike ghosts, I think Will-O-Wisps can only teleport to valid squares. I won't wait for the other wisp to teleport out. Fortunately, Gazers, unlike Reapers and Balrons, can only put one person to sleep at a time. And in this case, the only person it can target is Dupre, who is not vulnerable to sleep right now, and is dead anyway. Now, the switch I want is right there in the nook, directly to the right of Shelby, and that will open up exits in both directions. Once again, it doesn't matter which one you take. Okay, and one last room on this level. So this one is basically secret doors everywhere. What you need to do first is get whoever is in the bottom slot. In this case, Julia. there are secret doors right below her, a chain of 3 of them. At the end of the passage created thus, there is a switch that will open the wall in front of Shelby. Oh yes, and once again, there are Balrons. Or there is a Balron in force fields, so we can't attack it. And it's going to keep putting us to sleep as we try to slog through here. But fortunately, once we have all the monsters out of the way, all we really need to do is go straight up to the top exit. It would probably not be the worst idea to have a bunch of extra dispels available so you can release Balrons set up like that, but I don't. So now we just wait here for Jonna to wake up. Okay, Jonna's awake. Can we move people through? Not sure who that is blocking us now. Probably Katrina, but now we have to wait on that one. There's only one Balron. It doesn't use its sleep ability all that often. Not nearly so bad as an entire room full of Reapers. Okay, and we are good now. Okay, that is the last of level 7. Here's the altar. I did not hit I. Why did you ignite a torch? Whatever. The virtue that stems from all 3 principles is spirituality, associated with white. Okay, final level. Let me see what I need to deal with here. Alright, I've gone ahead and mixed a bunch of tremors and all the heals I could get. So doesn't really matter which way I go. That's a Reaper. I don't really want to fight it, but I don't have a choice. Fortunately, the Wandering Reapers only spawn 1, so that wasn't too bad. Heal Shelby really quick, and okay, this is going to be the point of no return. There is no exit once you enter either of these rooms. The one I want to go into is the room to the south. By the way, you cannot just use the down and up spells to get around into the abyss. You have to actually go through it properly. So, first room here, Balron, couple of gazers, of course. My goal eventually is going to be to exit to the south. I think if you go east, there's some annoying windy stuff. I'm not sure how exactly it all plays out, but it'll just keep you stuck in the same series of rooms. And the fastest way through is just to go south and exit. The question is, do I bother healing Katrina? And the answer is probably no. Okay, here we have lava lizards again. The exit we want is actually going to be to the west, not to the east. Since there is no exit to the west, there has obviously got to be a hidden exit somewhere. I must be blind because I'm not seeing the tile that I think it should be on, but I will investigate that after I deal with the lizards. I'm pretty sure what's supposed to happen is that tile in the lava at the top right should have a secret door in it. I don't see it obviously marked, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but that is where my map has it. I don't think there are any other triggers I need to hit first, are there? Okay, 1 minute while I figure out what I'm trying to find here. Okay, I see it. I need to have someone step on the tile in the lower left, just to the side of the lava first. So I'm going to send Dupre down there to do that. There it is. Now Shelby can walk through the lava, hit that switch, and of course there's more lava on the way out. Again, if you didn't have a map telling you where these things are, it would be very easy to wander around in here forever looking for those switches. Well, Katrina survived. Okay, 1 second, let me examine my map. Okay, I've blown my last heals on Shelby here. We are actually almost done. I just circle around to the west, deal with these insects, and move on. This is the final sequence of rooms, so if there is anything else you want to mix, do it now. Fortunately, there's only 2 rooms here, so it shouldn't be too bad. And in the first room, we have to fight ourselves, because that is how the path to Enlightenment works. Fortunately, these opponents are basically the same as the townsfolk you would fight if you were a very bad person and attacked people in town. They have very weak stats. I'm not going to try to read them all out. The only one of them who is meaningfully threatening is the mage there in front, who actually does have a missile attack. The rest of them will probably be dead long before they get anywhere close enough to attack us. Might just leave the Tinker to wander around up there. Okay, I promise, we are nearly at the end now. We have yet another room with gazers, balrons, dragons, everything. This is where I want to unload those tremamores I have mixed. I'm going to assume that at level 3, Janna doesn't have enough to help with casting Tremamore. Well, there goes Katrina. Let's try Tremamore once more. Okay, it can potentially affect Balrons, that is good. There goes Dupre. That's fine. Okay, let me just look over real quick how this room works. Okay, what happens is the obvious treasure chest in the middle there is a switch on there that will open an exit. So let's open that. However, do not, by any means, actually go north. If you actually go up there, you go into this ridiculous room with a bunch of sleep fields and poison fields and gazers and demons and balrons, which looks like it has a couple of exits, but as soon as you actually slog through everything and dispel the force field and beat up all the balrons and try to actually exit the room, there's a tile you have to walk over that will block off all those exits. It is completely a trap room. It is completely the worst troll room in the game. Do not go that way. Instead, if you look very carefully, you will see that that switch actually also revealed a secret door down at the lower right. And that is the switch we actually want to trigger. And that opens the real exit to the east there. And that was the last room of the Abyss, finally. This is the final altar, as before. We use a stone. The virtue that exists independently of truth, love, and courage is humility. And the stone of humility is black. And what awaits us beyond there is an empty chamber where the final exam awaits. The word of passage that we learned from the Three Kings: Ver is the syllable of truth, Ammo is the syllable of love, Cor is the syllable of courage, because people in this world know Latin. And now our final exam. If all may rely on our every word, in this case, we want honesty, not truth, even though that would be pretty much the same thing. And we get a line. Hooray! That which compels one to share in the journeys of others is extroversion. No, compassion. What answers when great deeds are called for? I guess valor? I can imagine a number of answers for that, but in this case, it's justice. These are all in the order you probably know by now, so... What is loath to place the self above aught else is... sacrifice. What shirks no duty is honor. The more difficult problem, of course, is deciding what duties should be, or are actually necessary, and what duties should be volunteered for. So how come healthy boundaries and consent aren't virtues in this system? Knowing the true self and knowing all, I guess that would be spirituality in this context. I think there's more to it than that. And that which serfs are born with and nobles must strive to obtain is humility, I suppose. And you've probably seen this symbol on the manual if you looked at it way back at the beginning of this. Here we learn how this actually works. We saw a line drawn for each of the virtues that we answered. Now we have more questions. This one's pretty unclear, but in this case it is truth, right? Truth. We draw a circle for truth. That circle is touching 3 lines, basically. Plunges to the depths, soaring on the heights is love. Similarly, that's touching several different lines. You'll notice there's 1 line touching both truth and love, that is justice. There is 1 line touching love alone, that is compassion. And then the circle in the middle touching both truth, love, and eventually courage is spirituality. That diagram is basically a fancy Venn diagram showing you how the virtues relate to each other. Wait, what's this one? I didn't study for this question. All the 8 virtues combined into are derived. Then what encompasses the whole of all truth, all love, and all courage? Well, this is the one pure axiom that we've been told we need to know a few times. We've been told variously by some people back in Cove that the one pure axiom contains all the truths of the universe, the love of the heart, the courage of the soul. It is more endless than the changing tides, more eternal than day and night. It's the combination of the 3 principles of virtue, and it equals the measure of time and space. And if you've been paying attention to the runes that you see when you do the meditations, you would begin to know the answer. I don't know how you'd figure this out if you hadn't been actually taking careful notes on that. But the answer is infinity. Whatever that means. And there it is. Supposedly, the rumor is that Smith the Talking Horse in Pause was supposed to give you that information in some form as well, but the developers forgot about it. I really don't know about that story. It seems so random that they go to all the trouble of making it an ultimate puzzle that requires you to take notes and know the runic alphabet, while also putting it in the mouth of a random NPC. So I don't know. That may not actually be true, but I have no real idea. But anyway, what you're supposed to do to figure that out is record all the runes that you see when you meditate and attain Avatarhood, and unscramble them based on the information you get in Cove. And we get the boundless knowledge of the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. And we are truly good because we fought a bunch of demons and answered some quiz questions. But the quest is actually endless, so we didn't actually accomplish much of anything. We have to keep trying again and again in 5 more games, I think. No, more like 3. Forget those other 2. And now we have to go home. No feasts, no rewards, no anything. And we are right back where we started, in a circle of stones on Earth. Apparently we know the secret of the gates, and we can go back anytime we want to, even though we still have to wait for another gate to appear in the next game. Go figure. And I will be sure to let Lord British know about this. I'm sure he will care at this point. Supposedly, people do actually still tweet on Twitter at Richard Garriott when they complete these older games, and he does actually acknowledge it in some form. I don't use Twitter, so I will likely not be doing that, but that is the end of Ultima 4. Hooray! I don't know how much I would recommend seriously playing this nowadays. It was an incredible concept for what it was, the whole idea of making a game that was about learning about a philosophy of morality in some form. The execution involved basically a lot of grinding and a lot of disproportionately challenging dungeon levels. And the interface and a lot of other things just made it more of a slog than it really needed to be. But if not for Ultima 4, there would never have been Ultima 5, there would probably have never been any number of other games we cannot record, so we should all be very happy that this game happened. Does it do anything else now, or does it just keep sitting here until I turn off the console? Or the computer, whatever I'm playing this thing on. Anyway, hooray! We are done. I will move on to something else finally. Thank you for watching, and good night.